Now today we are discussing the 5 African teams in the World Cup. There's Egypt, there's Morocco, there's Tunisia, and then the 2 West Africans in Senegal and Nigeria.
I think Nigeria has the kind of experience you need for you to be able to do well in the World Cup, even though they've been missing in the World Cup for quite some time now. To see them being able to marshal their midfield and attack, to be able to get the likes of Mikel Obi, Iwobi, Kelechi, to be able to do very well, even though in the prelims they lost 2 games. Yeah. I still think that out of the African countries that are going to the World Cup, they have the experience, they have the kind of know-how to be able to qualify. So I'm very much high on Nigeria doing well at this World Cup.
Well, I like their mental fortitude going into games. Mind you, they played in one of the toughest groups to qualify to the World Cup. They were in the group with Zambia, reigning African champions Cameroon and Algeria, and everybody thought that it could be either Algeria or Cameroon, but they came out on top. But let's go to who will come out of the group. There's Argentina, Croatia, Nigeria, and Iceland. Who for you?
I really believe that Nigeria has a very good chance as equal to Argentina qualifying from this group. So my pick will be Argentina and Nigeria qualifying from this group.
Well, I'll take Croatia and Argentina. I'm sorry, my Nigerian brothers, but I'd have to go against you on this one. But let's go to Egypt now. Lexis, they have been away for 28 years. And coming into, a football tournament for the first time in close to a generation can always bring its problems. Mohamed Salah is still not fit. Do you really think Egypt can pose a threat in this World Cup?
Not exactly, but I think that if you consider their chances, again, like Nigeria, they would be optimistic going forward, because if you have a player like Salah, who's done incredibly well in the English Premiership, you have high hopes of him replicating that kind of form in the World Cup. The biggest challenge for them will be being able to go into the World Cup and having a sense of understanding that it's at a high level. And even though Salah is our top marksman, we do not entirely have to rely on him to be able to get us going.
First game against Uruguay, where's that going?
No, I think Egypt will win that game.
Egypt will win that game against Uruguay. Now, in that group, there's Egypt, there's Uruguay, there's host nation, Russia, and then there's Saudi Arabia. Lexis?
I'm tipping Russia and Egypt to go through.
No Uruguay?
No Uruguay.
Amazing. I would tip Uruguay and Egypt to go through. I'm with my Egyptian brothers in this one. But let's go to one of the toughest groups for an African team in the World Cup. There's Portugal, there's Spain, there's Morocco, and then there's Iran. That's pretty tough, really. That's
very, 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 very tough. I mean, for Morocco's chances coming into this World Cup, they had deliberations as to who were the top 23 players who were going to take into the tournament. There were certain players that were left out that they felt could have gone to the World Cup and do very well. And when you find yourself in this group, I mean, as slim as your chances are, you'll have to go out there and perform. But I think Morocco are going to feel a bit more optimistic, saying that even though it's a tough group, their chances of qualifying is probably high too.
Well, I think it's probably high, really. They have shown some exciting prospects of players that they have in their ranks. They are taking Hakim Ziyech, who has impressed me seriously in Ajax. They are taking Younes Belhanda, who impressed for Montpellier. If you can remember, he had a very good partnership with Olivier Giroud sometime in 2011 when they won the league in the League. They look like a compact team, and don't forget they are managed by Heavy Rain. But for Spain and Portugal has Ronaldo. Spain, very, very good side. It will be difficult.
Yeah, I think for everything that Morocco represents, the biggest trump card will be the fact that they are managed by a well experienced coach, someone who understands the ins and outs of football, who understands the X and O's in football, who can go and game plan against Portugal and Spain to be able to get Morocco the result. So even though Morocco might not have the big star names that Spain and Portugal bring into the tournament, the biggest thing for them will be the fact that they can rely on a manager who would have a game plan or a strategy and a plan that can go against the likes of Spain and Portugal to give them a chance, even though the chances, again, is very slim.
If they're able to draw against Spain or Portugal, they pose problems for the rest of the group, and that will be difficult. Who are you tipping to get out of the group?
I'm sorry, Morocco, but I think for this one, Portugal and then Spain have to qualify.
Exactly, Portugal, Spain for everyone. Now, Spain, I mean, who wouldn't want to see Spain in the round of 16 and the quarterfinals?
Spain for the day.
And for Portugal as well. So let's move on now to Tunisia. They are also in a very, very tough group. England, Belgium, and Panama, with Tunisia themselves. I'm
sorry, but I mean, when it comes to the World Cup, it's very easy to tip England going through, and Belgium with all the stars that they have and the kind of brand of football that they play, especially being coached by Martinez and then Thierry Henry. You get a sense that this team is going to do very well. So Belgium is going to do very well. England is going to do very well. That leaves you ruining the chances that Tunisia has in this tournament. So I think that Tunisia, for everything they might do in this tournament, they might come up short against the star power of England. And then
there's one problem with Tunisia that I really do not like. When they get onto the world stage, they try to play like the Europeans, and they forget their style of playing. If they're able to take their chances, again, if Insakni and Namesliti are able to take their chances, I think they will be unplayable on any day. But who are you tipping? I mean, we can't take out Panama from in there. I mean, I think that, you know, they would want to prove a point.
Because I think England and Belgium are the ones that would go through. I mean, for Panama, they are dark horse. I don't see them qualifying. If there's anybody who's going to have a slimmer of hope or some kind of conviction that they can do well against these two teams, it probably is Tunisia. But I mean, if you're a betting person, the one person you'd want to put your money on going from this group is Belgium and England.
Senegal are in a group with Colombia, Japan, and Poland. That's a hard one. That's a hard one for me, because if you look at Colombia, just because of Jose Peckerman, the coach. If you look at Poland, just because of the star quality of Robert Lewandowski, and for Japan, they have looked like a compact team in every World Cup they've played in. A lot of people have tipped indiscipline as the major bane of the Senegalese team. Do you feel Senegal can overcome some of these things to pull a surprise on all of us?
Yes, I think so. I mean, if you look at the African qualifiers that Senegal played, they showed the kind of resilience that you need from an African team to do well in the World Cup. They were physical, they were mean, they had a structure that they were playing to that allowed them to. And so, if you look at this whole Senegal team and how compact they are and how resolute they are with being able to play, and in attack you have somebody like Sadio Mane, your chances are very high.
Let's come to deciding who will get out of the group.
The team I'm picking is Senegal and Colombia to qualify from this group. I'm leaving out Poland and Japan. That's a hard one, I know, but a pick has to be made. Who are you going for though?
Well, I am going for Colombia, obviously. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Jose Peckerman, so I'm tipping Colombia to go out of the group. Japan and Poland and Senegal, that's a hard one, but I'll just put Poland in there, you know, as a team that will go through with Colombia. But we all can't wait for the World Cup, can we?
No, we can't.
We can't wait for the World Cup. And you know, don't forget that on Thursday, the World Cup will come off. The opening ceremony, always very glittering. The first game, Russia against Saudi Arabia. So guys, that's all for Tackle. Watch us on 3Extra on YouTube and subscribe to that channel. And also follow us on our 3 Sports GH.